Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking to you about privacy policies, and this Facebook Live really addresses you if you are somebody who operates a small business and provides a health related service. If you, under the Privacy Act, if you are providing a health related service, you are in the position of collecting private information. In addition to just names and phone numbers and email addresses, you're also collecting what is regarded as sensitive information about health. So people may disclose, or you may ask people to disclose information to you that is related to health problems that they might have. And this is considered sensitive information. So under the Privacy Act, you have an additional obligation to other businesses that don't deal with health information of requiring a privacy policy on your website. Now, on the 22nd of February, what will happen is there's some amendments that come into force which affect the privacy policy that you have. So firstly, you need to have a privacy policy to let people know the type of information you're collecting, how you're collecting that information, what you plan to do with that information, how you plan to share it, store it, and yes, your general handling of that information. So that's what your privacy policy in essence does if you are a health service provider. So a health service provider is anyone that is in the business of assessing or maintaining or improving a person's physical or psychological health. That's a really broad definition. So people, all kinds of therapies fall under that, including natural therapies, naturopaths, chiros, remedial massages, yoga teachers, healers, anyone that's in the business of diagnosing or treating a person's illness, or whether it's a psychological illness or a physical illness or an ailment that they perceive that they have or they may have been diagnosed as having. And of course, it also covers people who are prescribing medicine. So that could be a medical practitioner or a pharmacist. So if you fall into this category of having a business that provides a service where you are collecting information that is related to people's individual health issues, and you could be collecting this information through your website when they sign up to promotional material from you, when they sign up to download educational material from you, when they book a session or an appointment through your website that takes them to their calendar, to your calendar, and in your calendar you ask them a series of questions about their health issues so that you have that information ready when you have the consultation. That all falls within the collection of health sensitive information relating to health. So what you need to do is to have a privacy policy in place in the first place. You also need to understand that if there is a breach, so if your website has been hacked, or there has been some compromise of your website where private information has been accessed without permission, without authority, and it's no longer considered private, then you have some certain obligations under the Privacy Act of notifying the person whose information has been breached, as well as the Privacy Commissioner, and there are a number of procedures that you need to go through in relation to that. So you're probably wondering, well, what does that actually mean for you as a business? What it means is that if you don't have a privacy policy in place, if you are a health service provider of any description, get one. It also means if you have a privacy policy that was written some time ago and you are concerned that you may not be actually complying, or it doesn't, you haven't revisited the Act for a while to take into account the upcoming amendments or exactly what is required of you in the privacy policy, then I suggest then you need to get your privacy policy reviewed. You also need to have a plan in place of what to do when there is in fact a compromise of information in your on your website. So generally, when you, by that just means that when you are business planning and you're setting up your website and you're looking at the type of information that you'll be collecting to run your business, you also have to think about what happens when there is a breach of privacy by your website. Prior to this amendment, or before this amendment was actually finalised, you didn't have to notify, but now you do. So there needs to be a process in place. And the way you decide whether a breach is eligible or considered an eligible breach depends on the type of harm that is caused and the seriousness of it. And that is also covered very well in the link that's attached to my blog, which I have put in the comments. So the bottom, I guess, in a nutshell, the Privacy Act has been amended. It does require health practitioners and people working in businesses or having businesses that provide a health service to make themselves familiar with the requirements of the new amendments in relation to what happens when there is a breach and the procedure involved with notification. So in comments there is the blog, and there is a link that will take you to the relevant website where a lot of this information is available, and it's quite simply written. And if you need any assistance, please contact me. I'll be more than happy to help. That's it for today, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.